At the Family Alliance engagement banquet, the esteemed Omega younger brother has fled. The family has compelled me, an inferior Omega, to take his place. To my astonishment, the betrothed is none other than my beta roommate, who just days prior had beseeched to bite me. Upon seeing me, he flashed a smile and remarked, "Oh, has your brother run off? Are they trying to deceive with you, this inferior Omega?" I let out a cold laugh and retorted, "Hasn't your brother also vanished? They are resorting to a union with you, this beta." His smile deepened. "You seem to be mistaken. I am a top-tier alpha. Tonight, it appears I shall require your assistance. 1. My name is Mu Enrin. I excel academically, possess striking looks, and have a pleasing disposition, coupled with a compliant nature. However, due to my status as a subpar Omega, I was left to my own devices by my family, which led to a gradual rebellion within me. Upon gaining admission to a prestigious university, I became the model student by day, yet transformed into a wild spirit at night. Mu Enrin, do you think your brother knows how reckless you are?" Han Shuza embraced me from behind, planting kisses on my gland and leaving marks upon my skin. "Look at you, appearing as the quintessential good student while harboring such wickedness beneath." I discerned his sarcasm, turning to nip at his lip, unfastening his shirt. "Aren't you the same? If anyone could be deemed wicked, it would be Han Shuza, the master of disguise." He presented himself as a gentle aristocrat, yet in bed, he was more ruthless than anyone. At times, his demeanor would darken, revealing a penchant for chains and black silk. The first time he blindfolded me with black satin, I was taken aback. He looked every bit the gentleman, yet engaged in the most primal of acts. "Such audacity, who taught you these ways?" I inquired, but he offered no response. I patted his face. "You've watched enough films. Haven to you? What have you learned from them?" He gazed at me, kissing my neck. "When you were pursuing me, you must have learned quite a few tricks of seduction, too. Why did you chase me in the first place?" he asked. I replied, "Because you are a beta, uncomplicated and intriguing. Han Shuza is extraordinary, a frigid flower, a beta, yet surpassing even alphas in merit. After pursuing him for a year, I finally won his affection. When the dormitory assignments were made, I used my connections to ensure we were placed together. Though he consented, there were days each month when he would mysteriously vanish. Upon his return, he bore various injuries, the air of mystery surrounding him only deepening my interest. 2. In the days leading up to graduation, he disappeared once more. Upon his return, I noticed binding marks on his wrist. Intentionally, I asked, "So, did you go out for a fling?" "No, I only want you. How could I possibly stray?" He languidly wrapped his arms around my waist, pressing me against the dorm bed. Gently biting my gland, he murmured, "I've missed you, yearned to mark you, driven nearly mad by desire." Upon hearing the word mark, I pushed him away, attempting to rise. "Enough, don't bite me. You can't mark me." Setting aside the fact that he is a beta, I too am a subpar Omega, incapable of withstanding pheromone marking. He pressed me back onto the bed, tearing my clothing as he eagerly sought to satiate the desires that had built up during his absence. Afterward, I headed to the bathroom to wash up, remarking, "With half a month until graduation, let us not keep in touch afterward." He paused. "What? Do you wish to return to being the clean and obedient gentleman?" I did not deny it, leaning closer to him, patting his face. "Indeed, otherwise, if I were cast out, would you support me?" In truth, I still harbored hopes for his promises. Yet he fell silent, seemingly deep in thought. "Since you cannot offer a commitment, do not expect anything for free." I felt a pang of disappointment, yet I was not entirely dependent on him. A union with an alpha would be more advantageous than remaining with him. Despite this thought, I sent a message to my esteemed Omega brother. "Brother, I need your assistance." The response came swiftly. "Sure. What do you need, brother?" My brother and I share a strong bond. He is always willing to listen to me. He is also my motivation to strive for a better life and not betray our family. Before long, news circulated in the business world. The Han family and the Mu family are to be wed. Not me and Han Shuza, but my top-tier Omega brother and his elite alpha sibling. 3. On the eve of graduation, I planned to indulge in one last passionate encounter with Han Shuza as a farewell, only to find myself coincidentally in the throes of my heat cycle. My heat is brief, lasting merely a day, but as an Omega, it inevitably stirs the instincts of alphas. "When will you return? I feel a bit off." While messaging Han Shuza, I searched frantically for suppressants, but none could be found. Bang bang. Someone knocked at the door, and I froze in fear. There's an Omega inside, though inferior, they smell delightful. Indeed, I've yet to taste the essence of an Omega. I heard that during their heat, an Omega will obey an Alpha. The voices outside were loud, yet they seemed fully conscious. My pheromones lacked the strength to overpower them. The Alphas outside began to emit their pheromones, and I felt myself tremble. Suddenly, a potent scent enveloped me, overpowering all others. Muenren. It sounded like Han Shuza's voice, but I had already lost consciousness. The door burst open, and I felt myself being swept into the bathroom. As cold water cascaded down, my awareness faded. Clinging to the person before me, inhaling his pheromonal scent, I bit down. I relished his aroma, yet gradually, the scent I adored began to dissipate. 4. Upon regaining consciousness, I found Han Shuza holding me. Before I fainted, was the pheromone of a top alpha yours? I questioned. He vehemently denied it. No. I let out a cold laugh, not truly believing him, yet he was deliberately concealing something. We lay together, my shoulder marked by his bites, devoid of any pheromone traces. Han Shuza, you truly enjoy biting, don't you? Are all betas like you? After years of sharing a room with Han Shuza, I had endured countless bites. I caressed the heated spots he had marked. Are you really a beta? I inquired again. The pressure emanating from him seemed to intensify. Due to my gland deficiency, I lack a strong perception of alpha pheromones. Yet I could not shake the feeling that Han Shuza was not a beta. He leaned in to kiss my lips. If I were not a beta, you would have long been marked by me. I wished to respond, but a notification tone from my phone shattered the tranquility. Enrin, your brother has run away. They are already searching for him. If he cannot be found, you will take his place at the engagement banquet tomorrow. As twins, the Han family 1T discern the difference. I stared at the screen, a smile creeping onto my face. I replied with a single word. Okay. Han Shuza attempted to lean in for another kiss, but I pushed him away. I showed him the message. It seems I am to be engaged to your brother tomorrow. If I become your sister-in-law, please be kind. If you don't mind me putting a green hat on your brother, I certainly don't mind. I patted his face, presenting him with the message. He looked at the information, momentarily stunned, before breaking into a grin. With my brother? You've got guts. I raised an eyebrow. Indeed, I cannot share a husband, so you must withdraw. He merely smiled, offering no reply. 5. At the engagement banquet, I was greeted by my roommate Han Shuza. The Han family had also changed their betrothal partner, which was entirely expected. Han Lycan, the first heir of the Han family, could never marry me, a subpar Omega. Yet they were unwilling to forfeit the opportunity for an alliance. Han Shuza was the perfect choice. Upon seeing me, he smirked. You truly came to the engagement? I scoffed. What does it matter to you? Where's your brother? He responded with confidence. He ran away, and I'm here to fill in. My father paused, his expression stiffening. Han Shuza addressed my father. Uncle, please don't be upset. My engagement to Enrin is quite suitable. My father furrowed his brow, clearly reluctant to give me to a beta. Yet Han Shuza seemed aware of this, presenting a document to my father for review. In the next moment, my father beamed with delight and swiftly departed. After his departure, Han Shuza smiled at me. What is this? Your brother has fled? Your father intends to use you, a subpar Omega, to deceive our Han family? I chuckled derisively. Hasn't your brother also run away? With your beta status for the union, we are quite similar. He pushed the engagement papers towards me, urging me to sign. Without glancing at the contract, I signed it outright. He raised an eyebrow in satisfaction. I never anticipated that after graduation, we would still be together. I smiled. What was that you showed my father just now? His gaze deepened. I merely informed your father that I am also a top-tier alpha. I was taken aback. You truly are a top alpha? I had suspected, yet his admission still surprised me. He leaned closer, whispering in my ear. Indeed, are you surprised? I raised an eyebrow and smiled, choosing not to respond. There was no surprise, yet I felt fortunate. As a mediocre Omega, I had inadvertently caught his attention. Once the Han family departed, I discreetly messaged my brother. Brother, thank you. I'm engaged now. Initially, I had no intention of pretending my brother was engaged to Han Liqing. My true aim had always been Han Shuja. Soon, my brother replied, No thanks, brother. Congratulations on the engagement. I'll be out for a while, waiting for you to settle down. After my engagement to Han Shuja, I moved into his apartment. He had claimed we wouldn't see each other post-graduation, yet through my cunning we ended up living together. I was quite satisfied. Upon entering, he embraced me, kissing my neck. "Fiancé, congratulations on your graduation." I pushed him away, tossing my suitcase in front of him. "Are you really an alpha?" He stripped off his clothing, releasing his pheromones. "Yes. Care to try?" I pushed him away disdainfully, not interested. Whispering closely to my ear, his voice was suggestive. "Wouldn't you like to experience the essence of a top alpha? I can fulfill that desire tonight." I smiled, feeling a flutter of excitement. The outcome was nearly overwhelming. Afterward, we lay together. "Why did you deceive me about being a beta? Your alpha pheromones are undeniably alluring." He caressed my neck, examining the bite marks. "I didn't deceive you. It was to mislead another." His voice brimmed with disdain. I frowned. "Who?" Han Shuja stroked my hair. "A madman." He touched his own glands. "Being an alpha can be quite bothersome at times." "Why?" I inquired, puzzled. He fell silent, clearly reluctant to elaborate. I sensed he was concealing something from me. Pressing my hand against his neck, "Are you hiding matters from me?" He met my gaze indeed. "But it won't affect our relationship." I had further questions. "In college, why did you always return with injuries?" He looked at me, his eyes betraying a hint of hesitation. "In a few days it will be my sensitivity period. Once you experience it, you will understand." His sensitivity period? Suddenly, I was struck with realization. A significant reason I had never discovered he was an alpha was that he had never lost control in front of me. 3 days later, it was Han Shuja's sensitivity period. He frantically bound himself, trapped in a dark room. "Han Shuja, what's wrong?" I knocked on the door, sensing his pheromones spiraling out of control. Though I felt distressed, I refused to abandon him and sought to assist. "Go away." Han Shuja's voice trembled, urging me to leave. I wished to retreat, yet his pheromones rendered my legs weak, rendering me immobile. "Han." Leaning against the door, I barely uttered his name when, with a loud bang, the door swung open. He was drenched in sweat, ropes still binding his shoulders. His wrists reddened from the bindings. "Why didn't you leave?" he asked, his eyes red. I took a step back. Something was off. He moved closer, suddenly grinning ominously. "Not leaving? Then help me." Before I could comprehend, he seized my wrist and pulled me into the room. Inside the dark space, his pheromones enveloped me. The moment I was drawn in, I felt an overwhelming pressure. He took a rope and bound my hands. "Han Shuja, what are you doing? Let me go." I immediately struggled, yet he bent down and captured my lips in a kiss. "You're truly beautiful, perfectly suited to be an alpha's plaything." He drew near, caressing my lips with a shadowy gaze I had never witnessed. He bound me and carried me to the bed. "I relish binding you this way. I wish to make you my doll, forever held close." He seemed deranged. I attempted to resist. Yet, his pheromones pressed down on me relentlessly, his grip on my neck firm. "Isn't this what you desire? Don't you enjoy this?" he inquired, devoid of clear awareness. My sensation dwindled to mere pain. My next moment of clarity came in a hospital, where he leaned beside me, resembling a child caught in wrongdoing. "Your sensitivity period is truly wild," was all I could manage to say. Thankfully, having lived with him for several years, I could withstand his torment. "This is why I've been avoiding you. During my sensitivity period, I was in the dark room, haunted by shadows. I hurt you, and for that, I apologize." Han Shuja embraced me. I thought I could control it. I patted his shoulder. "It's all right. It's normal for the sensitivity period to be chaotic. I can bear it." Although my body ached terribly, I consoled him. "What exactly did you go through?" I cautiously inquired. Yet he remained silent, unwilling to share. After a lengthy pause, he finally spoke, his expression serious. "I've scheduled an appointment with a psychologist. If it doesn't improve, I intend to replace my alpha glands." I refrained from advising him. Whether to remain a beta or become an alpha was his choice alone. I respected him. Upon returning to my family business, just a few days later, a top-tier Omega approached me. "Are you the Omega engaged to Shuja?" The individual, dressed in a suit and seated in a car, appeared somewhat older yet quite handsome. "And you are?" I maintained a degree of politeness, unwilling to greet him coldly. "Shuja is my chosen engagement partner. 50 million. Cancel the engagement." He casually threw a card my way, as if dismissing a beggar. I picked up the card and tossed it back into the car, stepping back in disdain. 50 million? If you're sick, seek treatment and leave. He smirked, a subpar omega, yet so proud? I scoffed. Not spitting in your face is already a show of courtesy from me. As I turned to leave, his voice called out once more. His sensitivity period must be quite chaotic. Has he mentioned it's because of me? His sensitivity can only be subdued by my pheromones. That evening, as Han Shuja and I were entwined, his words lingered in my mind. Distracted, I felt him bite my shoulder lightly. Ouch. The pain jolted me back to reality, his sweat trickling down my neck. What are you thinking about? Han Shuja inquired. Seizing the moment, I asked him, did you ever have someone you liked before? No. He replied casually, then kissed my cheek. I thought it made sense. That man didn't seem like Han Shuja's type at all. Then, apart from me, has anyone ever pursued you? The man from earlier that morning seemed to have had a past with Han Shuja. He paused, his expression darkening. Embracing my hand tightened significantly. Yes, but it is not beautiful. It is terrifying. Noticing his discomfort, I released a subtle pheromone, attempting to soothe him, yet he seemed unmoved. I unfastened the garments concealing his chest and took the initiative to kiss his shoulder. Sensing his tremor, I drew him closer to me. Regardless of who may have entangled you in the past, we are now engaged. You are mine, do you understand? My possessiveness was palpable. Understood. He pressed his lips against mine, and throughout that night, he tormented me with an unusual intensity. It appeared he was liberating himself, and I offered no resistance, surrendering to his whims. In the dead of night, my slumber was light, and I noticed his phone illuminating. A message from an unfamiliar number flashed on the screen. Congratulations on your engagement. Had I known you were an alpha, I would not have relinquished you. Now I regret it. You belong to me, Suze. I stared at the message and felt compelled to respond. Thank you for the congratulations. He is quite exhausted from today and is currently asleep. After sending the reply, I casually removed the SIM card and tossed it into a nearby trash bin, feeling a twinge of anger at the situation. Help me investigate someone. I messaged a family network investigator. Young master, that individual is Mr. Han's tutor from high school. His surname is Gu, the second son of the Gu family, Gu Ning. The Gu family? They are indeed a prominent clan, well connected with the Han family, yet this individual seemed deranged. I scrutinized the message, merely a tutor to Han Suze? Why then has he been fixated on Han Suze, claiming that Han Suze is his alpha? Lost in thought, I suddenly spotted Han Suze seated across from Gu Ning in a nearby cafe. Stealthily, I entered the establishment and settled into a discreet corner. It has been a long time. You have become even more handsome. Gu Ning teased Han Suze, inciting my disgust. Clearly, Han Suze was equally repulsed. What do you want? The man smiled, fixating on Han Suze. How about marrying me? Han Suze splashed the red wine before him onto Gu Ning's face. Impossible. The sight of you sickens me. Gu Ning's expression darkened. Then you choose to lower yourself by playing with a lowly omega? I have investigated him. He is merely toying with you, devoid of any genuine feelings. Gu Ning belittled me while elevating himself. Only I truly love you. Han Suze's expression darkened further. Kidnapping me and binding me like a pet. Is that your version of love? As I sat in the cafe's corner, my heart quivered upon hearing those words. The man opposite Han Suze, however, wore an arrogant smirk. Indeed, loving you means wanting to possess you forever. That Mu Enren is unworthy of you. He is nothing. Han Suze rose to his feet. Do not harm Mu Enren. Otherwise, I will ensure that you regret it, even if it leads to my demise. Gu Ning chuckled. So you do have a favored omega. Then why do you not favor me? Han Suze sneered. You are unworthy. The Han family is not inferior to the Gu family, so do not push me, Gu Ning. Gu Ning's smile turned grim as he watched Han Suze depart, elegantly wiping the wine from his face. After Han Suze left, I approached Gu Ning and sat across from him. Gu Ning regarded me, seemingly aware of my purpose. Do you wish to know about my past with him? I shook my head. There was no need to delve into bygone matters. Do not pursue him. Otherwise, I will ensure your disappearance through my own means. I attempted to stand and leave, but he spoke from behind me. Can you accept your alpha being confined to a bed by another omega for days on end? He is tainted, merely a worn-out shoe. My expression hardened, and I nearly hurled the glass on the table at him. Yet, I restrained myself. Giving in to anger would grant him victory. Before departing, I smiled. The one who is tainted is you, not him. Regarding Guning, I have been informed. That evening, I prepared dinner for Han Suze. This was my first earnest attempt to understand him since our acquaintance. Han Suze obediently sat across from me, his head bowed in silence. I am sorry. I do not believe I ever touched him. Despite my inability to recall that period clearly, I know myself well. He fervently explained, fearing I might disdain him for it. I am sorry. I felt remorse for having coerced Han Suze previously. During university, forcing you into a relationship with me. Did it leave you with a trauma? I am truly sorry. Suddenly, he stood, walked to my side, and pulled me up, kissing me passionately. If it were not for you, I would have lost my mind by now. I kissed his neck, sensing the fluctuations of his pheromones. While with me, he had been suppressing his pheromones, masquerading as a beta. He gazed at me with warmth in his eyes. You are special. I feel no repulsion toward you. I was satisfied with his response, pecking his lips as a reward. Good boy, your brother cares for you. From that day forward, I discreetly maneuvered against the Gu family. Yet their resources were vast, and the Mu family alone could not stir significant trouble. I could only irritate him but not eliminate him entirely. In my frustration, Han Suze's brother, Han Lichen, sought me out upon learning of the situation. Suze actually finds that past repulsive. The Han family has been searching for an opportunity to strike against the Gu family for years but lacks crucial evidence. Han Lichen presented me with materials he had gathered over the years. Where is the key evidence? I was indifferent to the Gu family's misdeeds. I merely wished to know how to deal with them. Han Lichen handed me an invisible camera. At Gu Ning's residence, record a segment of him violating imperial regulations. Try to lead him into revealing more errors. I nearly rolled my eyes. What is he inviting me to his home for? Han Lichen glanced out the window. We have received word that Gu Ning intends to make a move against you. His room is all prepared. He is merely waiting to abduct you. He spoke with a disarming nonchalance. I smiled quietly. Well, that is quite an honor. Han Lichen provided me with additional documents. He will not kill you, but he will administer some forbidden drugs. Those substances are stored in his secret laboratory. They are the evidence we need. I began to grasp Han Lichen's intentions. I accepted the tracker and camera. I will await your news. Since that day, I have been employing various tactics to provoke Gu Ning into making a move against me. Meanwhile, at some point, Han Suze learned of my actions against the Gu family. Enrin, Gu Ning is dangerous, you cannot handle him. Han Suze called to dissuade me once he became aware. I am fine. Before I could finish my sentence, I was jostled from behind, causing my phone to tumble to the ground. A sharp pain shot through my shoulder, akin to being pricked by a needle. A wave of dizziness washed over me, and just before I lost consciousness, a vehicle halted before me. When I regained awareness, I found myself bound to a chair, with Gu Ning seated opposite me. He wore pajamas and swirled a glass of red wine in his hand. Awake? You slept quite long. Indeed, you are of inferior quality, unable to withstand much turmoil. Gu Ning? My head throbbed painfully, and I felt utterly drained. Before me, a large screen displayed a video. A dimly lit room contained a boy in a school uniform, bound. Was that Han Suze? Gu Ning lounged on the sofa, fixated on the screen. The child I raised, and yet you have taken him from me. How vexing. I scoffed. You raised him? You overestimate yourself. You are nothing. His expression darkened immediately, and he approached, delivering a sharp slap to my face. And what do you amount to? An inferior Omega? Can you fulfill the desires of a top alpha? He regarded me with disdain. I smirked. And what about you? What methods did you employ to ensnare Han Shuja? I attempted to extract information. He was likely not yet differentiated at that time, I remarked, glancing at the image of Han Shuja displayed on the large screen. Gu Ning scoffed. I injected him with several potions developed by the Gu family, prompting his early differentiation. I bound him to the bed, feeding him stimulating omega pheromones daily. As Gu Ning recounted this, a smile crept onto his face, as if reminiscing about a particularly delightful episode. Ah, his pheromones were exquisite. Even before differentiation, he exuded a subtle fragrance. Lost in his memories, Gu Ning continued, yet he still managed to escape. The day after he returned to the Han family, News of his failed differentiation and transformation into a beta spread. With a hint of disdain, he added, he turned out to be a beta. Unworthy of me, so I relinquished my interest in him. I understood. Gu Ning desired Han Shuja, yet scorned him for being a beta, ultimately abandoning him in the end. Truly, a lunatic. But now he is deserving. He made a phone call, and the moment it connected, Han Shuja's voice rang out. Gu Ning, where is Enrin? His voice was urgent. He is here, Gu Ning said, casting a sidelong glance at me and offering a slight smile. Then he struck my abdomen with a punch. Ugh! I gasped in pain. Don't touch him. What do you want? Han Shuja's voice trembled. I could sense his fear. Gu Ning's tone remained calm. Come here now, and in his presence you'll sleep with me. Afterward, I will release both of you. You really are deranged. I grit my teeth, staring at Gu Ning, unable to fathom his motives. He crouched down, patting my face. Indeed, I am insane, haha. Soon Han Shuja will be kneeling before me, begging for your release. Just the thought of it is amusing. He laughed maniacally, resembling a madman. I remained silent, gradually using the concealed knife I had prepared to rub against the ropes binding me. But before I could make much progress, he noticed. Oh, trying to escape? Do you think you can? He slapped me hard, then produced a syringe, injecting me with its contents. The same drug I used on Han Shuja back then. Now you shall experience it. I felt drained and exhausted, yet my mind remained alert. I found myself bound in a dark, small room. Through the cracks, I could glimpse the outside world. You've arrived. Gu Ning, dressed in sleepwear, stood opposite a brooding Han Shuja. Where is he? Han Shuja inquired about my condition. I longed to exit but lacked the strength. Gu Ning smiled and handed a glass of wine to Han Shuja, coaxing him to drink. He leaned in closer, pushing Han Shuja against the wall that confined me, attempting to kiss him. Han Shuja evaded. Where is he? Gu Ning tapped the wall. The room that held you back then now confines him. Sleep with me, and he will naturally be allowed to leave safely. Hidden cameras recorded the unfolding events, capturing evidence. I struggled, trying to make a sound, but my voice was swallowed by the silence outside. I could only watch helplessly as Han Shuja approached Gu Ning and began to unbutton his shirt. At that moment, Han Shuja suddenly produced a vial from his waist and injected it into Gu Ning's neck. Ah! I heard Gu Ning's cry, and shortly thereafter, Han Shuja opened the door to the small room. Are you all right? He urgently began to untie my bonds. I'm fine. Before I could finish speaking, the door slammed shut once more. Gu Ning stood outside, watching us with a sinister smile. This door cannot be opened from the inside. Han Shuja, I will drag you out once you can no longer resist. Gu Ning's voice was terrifying, his possessiveness over Han Shuja palpable. They all said he is a madman. You cannot win. Han Shuja trembled as he grasped my hand. I have my plans. This time he will pay the price. As long as I obtain evidence, I have myriad ways to deal with the Gu family. The current public sentiment is strong. Many prominent families have fallen from grace under the weight of public scrutiny. Once the ropes were undone, we leaned against each other. In the dark room, Han Shuja began to shiver, responding to his surroundings. I held him close. Don't be afraid. I'm here. I comforted him, though my words had little effect. He gazed at the nearby drugs. Gu Ning won't last long. Having injected himself with those substances, he will suffer as we do. I asked, what did you inject him with? Han Shuja's voice was low and trembling. An omega pheromone catalyst to induce his heat. Once in heat, an omega becomes utterly compliant to an alpha. He clutched my hand, collapsing beside me. I won't be able to hold on much longer. It's all right. Don't worry. Your brother will come. Just wait a little longer. Han Liqing had already made arrangements with me. Han Shuja shook with fear. If I lose control, don't worry about me. I fear I might harm you. Before long, he could no longer contain his pheromones. Instantly, he entered a sensitive phase, his pheromones overwhelming me, making it difficult to breathe. He kissed my neck, tearing at my clothing. Anrin, I feel like I can't hold on any longer. Suddenly, the door burst open, and a powerful wave of red wine pheromones surged in. It was the frenzied Gu Ning who had also entered his heat. He yanked Han Shuja, who was leaning against me, dragging him outside. I tried to grasp Han Shuja, but I was too weak, pushed aside by the deranged Gu Ning. Han Shuja was pulled out into the open. The sound of him tearing his own clothes was jarring as he tackled the nearly frantic Han Shuja. Just as despair began to envelop me, the barred door was pushed open once more. Han Liqing stormed in with reinforcements. I gasped for breath, collapsing onto the floor. Han Liqing approached me. Well done. Han Liqing, if I ever collaborate with you again, I shall be a dog, was my only thought before losing consciousness. Was he a snail? Why was he so slow? Had he been any slower, Gu Ning would have taken matters into his own hands. Gu Ning was taken away for investigation. Han Shuzhe and I awoke in the hospital. In just a few months, I had found myself hospitalized twice. Truly felt like I needed to pray for good fortune. I climbed onto Han Shuzhe's hospital bed, nestling in his embrace. From now on, I will protect you, brother. I patted his unconscious form, and in the next moment, he wrapped his arms around me. He had awakened, though his pheromones remained unstable. All right, you protect me, he responded, and as I lifted my head, I was unexpectedly kissed. After our discharge, Han Shuzhe underwent psychological treatment, and I remained by his side. He was reluctant to resist his alpha instincts, yet he seemed to improve significantly. Han Shuzhe, if you wish to be a beta, I will support your decision. I reassured him, patting his shoulder. I want to be an alpha. He embraced me gently, his voice soft. It seems only an alpha can satisfy you. I refrained from responding. There was no need for such candor. Although his complete release of pheromones was undeniably alluring, I was not one to solely consider satisfaction as an omega. Once I recover, let us get married. Shall we? He suddenly proposed, his gaze unwavering. Yes. Initially, I embarked on this engagement with the intention of culminating in matrimony. 3 months later, I sent a message to my brother's private account. Brother, I am getting married. Will you return to attend my wedding? I anticipated a response from him. Shortly after dispatching the message, a reply arrived. All right, just one word from him. At the wedding venue, my brother, donned in sunglasses, waved at me before turning away once more. Brother, I entrust the family affairs to you. I have faith in you. I wish to indulge in life a while longer. After the wedding, I busied myself with the family matters, seldom inquiring about my brother's affairs. Dear Mr. Mu Enrin, we have found a donor for the top-tier omega gland you previously requested for transplantation. The transplantation of glands necessitates an exceedingly high degree of compatibility. When I registered years ago, I harbored no hope, yet here I was, astonished that the opportunity had arisen. Very well. Thank you. The matter of gland transplantation warranted a discussion with Han Shuzhe. Just as I prepared to call him, I received a message. Your brother is worrying about your status as a subpar omega. He intends to donate his gland to you. Gazing at the message, I scrutinized the unfamiliar number from which it originated, an anonymous source. Accompanying this was a photograph of my brother, seated alone in front of the gland examination department at the hospital. I promptly dialed my brother's number. Hello, brother. Why the sudden call? I'm traveling. His voice sounded carefree. I sighed. Are you vacationing outside the operating room? Donating your gland? You have quite the leisure. Silence ensued on the other end, and after a prolonged pause he finally spoke. If my brother needs this gland, I am indifferent. Moreover, I am not as capable as you. Having a top-tier omega gland in my possession would be a waste. I remained silent for a considerable time. Previously I cared, but now I did not. Brother does not require your gland. Come back, please. I am already quite content. My brother fell silent as well, and ultimately, his voice cracked with emotion. Brother, I will heed your words. Though he professed to comply, he remained elusive. Where are you? When will you return? I messaged him, receiving a response in the form of a picturesque landscape. I am genuinely enjoying myself, brother. You earn the money and I shall spend it. It's a perfect arrangement. After Han Shuzhe resolved his psychological issues, he too inherited the family business. I truly do not understand why it is the two of us, unappreciated, who are trapped in the company. I was inundated with tasks, as was Han Shuzhe. Despite being newlyweds, we could only meet twice a month, relying on phone calls to vent our frustrations. Where is your brother? I inquired of Han Shuzhe, curious about the whereabouts of that unreliable Han Liqing. Han Shuzhe sighed. He went to find your brother. He said he was looking for an omega to embrace. Postscript. Han Shuzhe, has your brother found my sibling? I nestled beside him on the sofa, resting my head against his, as I perused the messages from the family. I had inquired of my brother, but he had yet to respond. Yes, Your brother has taken a liking to mine, and he is pursuing him. Han Shuza showed me a photo sent by his brother. My brother's face was flushed, reclining on the bed, his attire disheveled. Visible on his wrist were crimson marks. My expression darkened. Are you certain this is affection? Han Shuza raised an eyebrow. I posed the same question to your brother, and the response was. He played a voice recording for me. In the audio, I could hear his brother's voice alongside my brother's. Do you like him? Be clear. This inquiry was from his brother. Yes, very much. The reply came from my brother, his tone gentle, entirely unlike him. Just those two simple exchanges ended there. See, it is indeed affection. Han Shuza embraced me, just as I cherish you.